Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan Metal video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the Boujack. Not Bardock, Boujack. Sorry, I always tend to get confused, but we're going to be taking a look at how Boujack does after his recent Extreme Z Awakening in Dokkan Battle, and we're going to see just how good he is and how he performs in Red Zone. Now my Boujack is easy aid and also has with him a dupe, so that's obviously something to be aware of, just when we're talking about performance and how units perform. Knowing that my unit has a dupe is somewhat important. Of course, as well, just kind of full disclaimer, Boujack is on pretty strong teams, but himself does have some strong missing links. And strength Boujack I don't have, and also is a little bit outdated, and that's probably his best pairing partner by a country mile. So it's kind of a catch-22 where like Boujack always feels like he's out of cycle. Like, he needs a link pairing partner and then he gets one, but then he's out of date, and then now that he gets an easy A that makes him great, his link pairing partner is out of date. So yeah, just in general, just kind of funny to see. Now we'll kind of run through his Extreme Z Awakening. But I think his best role, and you'll see me using him in that way, is as a floater. I think as a floater he's more than fine. I think he's in a solid position as a floater. Very good unit that can provide some utility to the team to some extent, but just isn't, isn't hideous or gets in the way. He does share some decent links with units like LR, Strength, Cooler, so you can run them together if you want to. If you've got a Rainbow Boujack, that's not a bad call, especially if Cooler's getting some of his links from the floating units or the third slot units or things like that. Like, it's definitely not a bad call to do so. Now let's talk about Boujack just in general. But Boujack's Easy A made him pretty nice. He raises defense on both his 12 and 18 key, which is good. On his 18 key, he also raises all extreme class allies attack by 40%, which is good. It is very solid. He has attacking defense of 150%, plus an additional attack boost by up to 100%. The more HP remaining, the greater the boost. And then a defense boost, that's the inverse, so the less HP remaining, the greater the defensive boost, which is good. Again, just solid stuff. He gains key and additional attack and defense depending on how many extreme class allies he has on the team, and then he'll also change key shares when there's another space traveling warriors category ally in the team. So yeah, pretty solid stuff. Orb changing, some pseudo support off of his super attack, so just decent stuff. I don't want to say he looks insane, but he's definitely got the right mix of abilities to make things work. Now for me, I like him as a floater. You'll see me using him as a floater, and then I'll move him into the first slot and in the final rotation. But I like him as a floater. The reason why I wanted to try the Cell event is, well, A, to change it up a little bit, but B, I think, Boujack has, I want to say, not insane defense, but good defense. So Boujack's the kind of unit that can sit at like 300, 400k raw defense, and he sits at that mark. Like, he exists in that area, So if Big Bad Bosses is active, if he's got a dupe in him, if you've got Terrifying, Thirst for Conquest active, then he's like sitting there and he has like 350, 400k defense, and all of a sudden he looks solid, Not saying he looks insane, but he's got good raw defense. He's just got good starting raw defense. So in that sense, Boujack kind of is a secure floater, because floaters generally aren't, I don't want to say they can't be supered, because they can of course be supered, but generally speaking, by the time you get to the third unit in the slot, unless you're doing like the Omega Shenron event or something like that, you have a very low risk of being super attacked. And this, in theory, makes it that Boujack just has to survive normals, and him surviving normals is pretty simple. Now obviously the converse to this is that you do lose the ability then to gain a lot of benefit out of his 40% attack raise. that he brings from his super attack. And although this is unfortunate, it's not the end of the world. That's why I like the Cell Max event, because if Boujack's on attack rotation, you can push him into the first slot and really boost up everyone else without really massive fear of him dying. Whereas if you're on any other typing rotation, you can just push him off and have him kind of sit in the third slot. I think them giving him a 2-turn attack raise would have both been really good, but also been a really OP ability, because then it would have been him, he would have looked really crazy then. It would have been like a really juiced up extreme version of Great Saiyaman 1 and 2, which sounds really cool, but I think maybe they thought it was a bit too much. But overall, I think he looks solid. Not insane, but he's definitely a unit you can use for red zone. I highly suggest running him as a floater. It is where I find him to work the best. You might decide, if you have a rainbow one that's level 10 links, that you're going to run him on the main rotation. That's also fine. His defense is definitely enough for normals and most red zone content. Especially after super, his defense will pretty much always be fine for normals and red zone content. So yeah, I think he is solid. He is definitely a solid unit, a good unit, a unit that brings a lot to the table. It's just that he, like I said, he can to a certain extent, because of the lack of pure linking partners, can not look as impressive. Because the thing is like Heraclan and Galactic Warriors, right, which are his 2 strongest links that he gets from other like Boujack or Zangya units and things like that. These links give him a lot. Like we're talking like Cold Judgment levels of defense and 20% attack. So it's not like he's not getting stuff from these links. It's just that getting these links is so incredibly hard to get. Like you would need a rainbow level 10 links strength Boujack to run with him, and then he'll look insane, but Boujack at the same time will not be good enough for red zone. So it's like you're in this weird situation where you're just really unlucky in that regard. And we'll stick Boujack in the first slot here, and he's unfortunately going to get supered, but it's also a great indicator to see how much damage he'll take. I think that's cool. It's always cool to see how much damage a unit will take, so him tanking the super is really not that big an issue. He would have taken single digits from normals anyway, so it's not really something I'm that concerned about. His tanking ability is always was going to be fine in general, just it was never really going to be something that was a struggle for him, basically, to cut a long story short. He was always going to be more than fine as a unit when it came to tanking and doing things, and so yeah, was never really too concerned. 300 and some change is a decent chunk on the super, but it's not bad. Considering the event and everything, type neutral, it's really not that bad. But let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.